MiDNA. I would like to start with a thank you note to the universe for this session and all the godly spirits guiding me along my journey now and in the future. And today's session will focus on the X reports, especially of the teenagers. And I have chosen about 9 reports. And I wish to celebrate the souls that have come to me on my way to enrich my experience and help me decoding better. With the dedication to a first mentor and due respect to all the members here on and off, I would like to start. And here we go. I've chosen two teenage sets, twins reports here. And you could see that report 1 and 2, which is the first twins, and 3 and 4 will be another twins. And then we have the individual reports and also neurodivergent kids report, which is going to be really unique as far as the performance of the child is concerned. And this is where we are. And welcome you all for today's session. Thank you so much for the opportunity. Now, I would like to start with the first 2 reports, which is the first one is the female. The child is yeah. So this child seemed to be right brain, has got a right brain dominance, and we could see the left brain processing is moderate, and we could see a small X there in the frontal and a small X in the parietal. So from the interaction that I had with these kids, they were quite chirpy, and they were interacting a lot about their experiences in school and their learning process, and which I would like to connect here with the compartments that we have and the energy that we have in this data. So these children were good at language skills, and they seem to have strong factual memory, which I would like to connect with the frontal energy here, which is 76 and 72. And the girl, of course, is quite inclined to arts and craft, and she's like quite logical in analysis, and she is good at math as well. But then she requires a lot of explanation to understand the concepts. That is what I would infer from the interaction about the girl, and that I would like to connect here with the data that is given here. And we have more of the right brain inclination, where the child is good at art and craft, that I've shared already. Uh, she is quite good in her verbal memory, and she articulates well uh, in her and she's excelled in her language skills as well. So she's a good reader as well. So that is what I understood from her data. Uh, when I spoke to the child, she was telling that she has some difficulty and challenges when she is persuaded to do work, and that I would like to connect with the small x here, where it doesn't withstand any kind of pressure from the external environment, which disturbs their process. And we could see the prefrontal and the frontal here. The distribution is like the converging is 50% on both sides, the converging and diverging, which communicates a lot about the child's execution and hands-on skills. Especially the prefrontals and the frontals, we could see the data here, which is kind of inferring the practical execution and inclination towards hands-on skills, and she definitely needs some kind of an emotional and uh, you know ensure consistency, and for that she needs a kind of a support. So that is where it is, but that support system should be a little emotionally connected, which has got more understanding about the child, more understanding, and provides that comfort zone to the child. So that is where we understand the child's position as far as the state is concerned. And we could see the parietal energy is 2074, the right side, and we see the converging 71. So which means like she wants to do it her own way, and she would look forward to a lot of appreciation from people. And that is where she will be able to execute her thoughts and activities well, and her executive function skills will be a little encouraged when this appreciation and motivational factors are in place. And the preference to do it her own way is something which we find with this inclination as well. And with the temporal energy, she is quite expressive, and there is a kind of an aggression that happens when she is persuaded, and the small x is something which uh, triggers that. So it could be persuading her to do it immediately, or it could be persuading her to do it in a particular structure or whatever. But all said and done, she would definitely need a prototype in order to follow, because she is more adaptive, and she's got a growth mindset, which is quite evident from the prefrontal, which is 76 and 72. So that is where she is. And she's more converging in nature, where she has her own way of doing things, and she's quite systematic also. But academically, she is not a very excellent performer. She is quite natural in her execution, and like as I said, she definitely needs that kind of a motivation, and she needs that mentorship, I would say, in order to perform well. And her inclination towards music, and she's got good memory, and she's got a very empathetic listening. The small x is something which D2 on the right frontal is also something which contributes to that, where she is quite logical and analytical in nature. She is able to recall a lot of emotional incidents, and she is quite sensitive to tone and mood. That is something which is is a kind of a trigger point as well as a motivational point here. So that is what I understand from this report. And I will move on to the second report here. This is the boys report. What I find in the boys is a contradiction. The girls is more adaptive, and she's got a growth mindset, and the boys is more of a purpose, and uh, definitely it is also a kind of a combination of growth mindset and a purpose driven mindset. So what I understand from this report is like he's moderate like her. He is also very analytical in nature, and the advantage here is he has got a balanced, effective cognitive blend. So he is kind of a blend of feeling and logic, and more reflective in nature as well. So he is good, a thinker, strategic thinker, and that is quite evident from the frontal converging over there. Uh, we have we could see that there is a kind of analytical depth as well from the report, and we are able to see that his repetitive, he is not that encouraging, or even he likes to repeat tasks. He's got his own unique way of doing things, and he wants to do it quickly. There is a kind of urgency that we could see, and he always looks forward to that achievement. He is always looks forward to, and begins with the end in mind. That is something which would persuade him to overthink if it does not happen. So he would become a little feeling centric, and that is where he always, learns best by doing, observing experts, and that is where he is. Uh, he is more driven towards his goal, and he understands better about his own executive functioning skills, and he was quite receptive to understand where he is lagging behind, and that was really encouraging. And what I find here is he is like um, he is more creative in the physical expression, and with the frontal energy, and then he's got an exceptional emotional intelligence also. He is good at designing, and he picks with his sister easily. With C2, he is always critical about her, and even with the C1X also, it's like it's a kind of a trigger where he is analytically criticizing her, and that is how she gets offended, and there is a constant sibling issue that happens. And with the teens, both of them in the teens, it is quite evident. So what I see in the child is like he's got exceptional spatial skills, and he's got good visual imagination as well. So he's highly creative, and his executive function skills or can become optimal if he can really stay focused. And what I find is the mother is a student of mine. She's been approaching to have the GPP done. And what she was sharing is about the sibling issues, and now the sibling issues have been resolved, and the children are more compatible, and they do their work, and they have an organized space for them to learn, and their performance is also improved. That is the feedback that I have received from the parent. So here I've given a gist of what I have been observing about the children, and the feedback is also really encouraging. And this boy definitely needs a why, and he always enjoys the discussion and structured theory. And even while during the interaction, I found that he was more controlling. He was criticizing his mother interacting with the common people during a walk and all that. So a lot of things were addressed during the session, and it was a good session with these kids. Now we move on to the report 3, and this is also report 3 and report 4. These two are also twins, and they are quite distinct in their own way. What we see here is there is a good balance of the left brain and right brain as far as the girl is concerned, but she's got small x in the frontal as well as the parietal. And what I observe about this child is she's a natural, connector and collaborator. She is quite good at art as well, and she is capable of interacting with people, understanding people's emotions, and speaking with a lot of logic and analysis. That is what I found in her when she spoke to me. And she doesn't like being persuaded by people. She doesn't like being persuaded by systemic pressures and all that. So this is where she had a challenge, and being moderate on both sides, she takes enough time to understand and also to respond. So sometimes she gets into mood swings, and she responds very sharply, and that is where she needed little help as far as emotional exhibit is concerned. The parent was also concerned about the attitude of the child. So she is quite bold, and she speaks with interest. She confides when she's confident, and when she trusts the person. So she's got high feeling. She's quite empathetic, and she learns through connections, and she's got an adaptive and purpose mindset because the prefrontal is high. um, she's got a very creative and holistic thought process, and I found a lot of flexibility in her thinking. So when it came to admission process for grade 11, she had her options open to her parents. In fact, she was quite particular about getting admission in the same school. Uh, but then she was able to accommodate the parent interest of admitting her in a different school, etc. But then we do not know until the exam results are published and the admission process takes place. But as of now, she's uh, decided to join the same school, and she has expressed it very clearly to her parents, and that action has taken place. So she doesn't like micromanaging, and she complains. Being teens, then obviously this is another issue that every teenager faces. So she was complaining about the micromanagement of the parent, and so when they came, recently, they were advised to focus on their personal wellness and how to stay organized with their work and how to prepare for examinations. All that guidance was given, and the children were quite receptive. And now I think they're all set for the examination and they're doing their job. Now I move on to the next report, that is report 4, where we have this child with the small x in the frontal and the capital X as well. And what we find is he's more converging in the left, and he's got a strong entrepreneurial skill. And what I find about this child is he's quite bold, he's easily irritable, and he's got a lot of physical energy. He doesn't listen to his parents because he doesn't like being told. That is quite common among teenagers, but then this child is more expressive about that. He has got a lot of impatience and aggressiveness, and he, in fact, goes to the extent of uh, giving an outburst. So at times, he's got these challenges. But on the whole, the child is quite capable. He's capable of logical reasoning and analytical skills. He's quite reliable. When he is told certain structures, when he's told to, when he's shown certain structures and things to follow, he is quite receptive and he's quite systematic. He wants to be systematic as well. But then he has got some challenges there. He struggles, and he was able to follow certain things. And his fast processor is another challenge, where it actually makes him concentrate on different things, and his interest is short lived. That is what I find in this child as a challenge. And he's got a strong kinesthetic and visual learning capacity. So he's quite rigid in his perception, and maybe he's also perceived like that by others. But the child is quite receptive when he is told in the right manner. So he's been asked to focus on the purpose and goal, and whatever efficiency executive skills that he is supposed to follow has been communicated. So this child is currently going through certain issues, and he's been guided already. So he thrives better in structured and process oriented goal driven environment. And I would like to mention that the parent came here for the media addiction of the children. And now that he is in this kind of an environment, and there is no media, there is no gadget, it's gadget free environment, and he's quite focused in that environment. And it was a positive feedback after some time that uh, we received from the parent. So that was really good to listen to. And this child is also in constant touch with me, and I keep following up with those kids, and the response is also good. We are looking forward to better performance in the coming examination. They are doing their great in examination shortly. So they are preparing for their examination and just waiting for the process to happen. Now, this is the fifth report of a child with the C2X and D2X in the frontal. And the moment we see this brain design, we'll be able to understand what kind of triggers and what kind of criticism can happen as far as C2X and D2X is concerned. So this child is again a left brainer, more focused on task, more focused on perfectionism, more focused on a lot of executive functional skill challenges as well. But then he was quite receptive once he was guided how to take things. But then it was a challenge to handle this child because of the intuitive nature, where he is intuitive and diverging in nature, because he's got his own pattern of doing things. That is where the challenge was. And it was really difficult when this child came to me. The parent had expressed a lot of challenges, that he isn't listening, he isn't accommodative, he doesn't adapt, All these were communication, all these were what the parent communicated to me. And what I saw in him is like he is a self learner, a complete self learner. So he had specific preferences, and he had difficulty abiding by the system as well. He was supposed to travel to his school, and he is supposed to be in the school to learn, but he refused to do so. And the parent had no other go but to bring him. He said the tutors there just ask us to read, learn, and write, and what good thing is going to happen there. So that is kind of assessment and analysis that he has. And he has got a personal choice over the system. That's quite evident from his conversation as well as his activities. And once it was done, he was at home, he studied, and he did well. For that, he had to depend on the media content, and he became a self learner completely. But we tried a couple of um, uh, tutors, but he wasn't accepting them because he was quite analytical in nature and complaining a lot about their method of communicating. And it is actually like he was not able to understand the pattern, or he had his own pattern of understanding. So the pattern of understanding, his understanding and the tutor's communication did not match. And the criticism was that the teacher wasn't able to teach him well. So we had tried at least two tutors, and finally he decided to study on his own. And he preferred to learn, self learn, until he completed his grade 10. So his low base energy is quite evident, that he's got a prefrontal and frontal strong, and he's definitely going to be a rigid planner, and prefers a lot of individuality. And that is where this child is, and he is quite progressive. He has got his own way of doing things, and a born leadership is something which we can identify here. But again, the challenges are there which he has to overcome. He should not reject straight away. He should not you know make criticisms visible. So that is where he will be unhappy. At the same time, he'll make others unhappy as well. So that is something which he has to be really conscious of. And we could see the MHI and all those things which have a strong internal compass, and which has got an internal framework of logic, strategy, and values as far as this child is concerned. Now we go on to the next report, where we find this is the recent uh, this is another child's report. This child I've been observing from his childhood, and when we engage him in conversation, he is quite confident, and he finds when he finds that the relationship is quite trustable, and he can stay connected. That is where this child would make this connect. And this child has got being completely cognitive. He's got a lot of logical questions to ask, and he's quite inquisitive in nature. He's fast and self learner, and he's driven by purpose always. Like he doesn't easily engage in sport, engage in activities, engage in games. That's the kind of attitude he has got. He is more glued to performing, doing things, preparing for tests, reading something. It's like that. So he easily gets bored, and once he decides, the challenge as well as the gift of small x is the decision making process. So once they decide something which is interesting, they do it to its completion. So once he decides, he will do it to see that it is succeeded. That is the kind of attitude he has got. But to make this happen, I think that is where the challenge is for himself as well as the people around him. The next thing is like he has changing preferences. Okay, he was into art, he was into music, everything was a stint. um, he keeps changing his likes and dislikes, and discontinues whatever he does easily. He doesn't mind, and he doesn't go back to it as well. Sometimes he is overconfident also. and his verbal ability is something, verbal ability as well as his attitude is something which is quite visible to the people around, and which is also a challenge for the parent to handle. And being in the teens, it's even more a challenge. The child is quite capable of doing all subjects, science, English, everything, languages, everything. But then there was difficulty as far as his comprehension and doing long passages, long answers is concerned. So that is where the parent had a challenge of how to make this right, how to make this child do well in those parts. So he was like advised how to approach the language part, and we decided to go ahead with the. There was a small assessment as far as the child is concerned about mathematics and his conceptual skills. So when we saw, and as well as the school also had a conceptual skill test, and we identified that he lacked, conceptual skill in the mathematics, and we engaged him in comprehension and learning mathematics through Oda class and Bonsu. And right now, I think he has also been given study materials by me, as well as the school also has given some support, and with the real-time connection, he was able to identify the purpose of learning certain topics and also developing the understanding the importance of developing the conceptual clarity. It's something which made him wake up to the reality of learning with purpose. And right now, I think he's doing really well. He has developed his mathematics skills, and yesterday I spoke to her, and she was giving this feedback that yes, this child is progressive in mathematics, and now he is quite comfortable. So this was about that child, and the next report is about another child. Uh, so this is the neurodivergent kid who I'm talking about. He has been identified for mild autism. We don't see anything, wrong with his brain lobes and the energy distribution. His adaptability is so good that the parent is able to make him perform or exert his skills, whatever he is gifted with. What I found about the child is when the child came to me, this child is from Salem. This child came to me. There was no eye contact with the parent. So that is where everything began. There was no eye contact completely. And slowly we gave him the exercise through three people. One was one of my friend, Mrs. Geeta. She is a special educator. So, and also another person we connected with. Uh, so we gave him the eye exercise first, and slowly he started making eye contact. Then he was engaged in reading. Then he was engaged in certain other activities, and especially karate and other activities. I connected with Mr. Felix and also Dr. Ravi in order to engage this child in the academic journey as an inclusivity. In schools, of course, we have the inclusive aspect. So in order to put him in the curriculum part, we were trying to find out ways and means. And I would like to thank all the three of them for making this happen for this child. And now the child is in grade 10 in normal curriculum in a government school, and he is being engaged in the learning process, and he will be doing his grade 10 examination, and later on he will be moving to NIOS. In fact, NIOS was the choice that we had. That is where Dr. Ravi was kind of supporting us to admit him in NIOS. But then the parent preferred some school close by which could accommodate him, and right now he's in that school, and he will be appearing for the examination with a scribe. So looking at the brain data, we could see his parietal is good with the diverging and converging, and we are able to see the prefrontal with the converging 64, which indicates that once he learns how to do things, he does it in a focused manner, and that's quite evident from his performance in karate and the curricular aspects as well. So I had an interaction with the parent, and the uh, detailed testimonial is going to be shared with all of you shortly after the session. And the parent is so thankful that she wants to recommend this to another parent where that child is also a neurodivergent kid, and she will be approaching us in this month. That is where I'm able to understand how effective this our genetic brain profiling is. So this child, he is quite skilled, and he is good in language, he is good in reading, and he is good in performing karate. Now he is moving to acquire a brown belt, and he's multi-skilled, a neurodivergent kid, and really proud to be associated with this family, because there is so much of dedication and support from the family. Mother is a physiotherapist, and they are able to give that support to this kid. And what the child is today is because of the blessings of the universe, as well as the dedication of the parent and the people who are connected with. So yet another parent is expected. Let us see how we can contribute to this child also. And this inclusivity is something which I'm enjoying. I would look forward to more connections like that to make a difference, as far as and also give that confidence to the parents that GBB can make a difference in everybody's life, not just the people who are approaching with the small challenges. There are bigger challenges as well that can happen, that can be handled, is something which the confidence is what I would like to convey to the parents. So autism isn't a challenge. This child, of course, had a mild autism, and we went through the reports, and that is where it is. And the child is capable of reading now. He reads a lot, especially comic books. And I had shared a spoken English book initially with the one sentence, and with images, illustrations, and everything. And slowly he started reading the comic series. So it's quite encouraging to have such kids in our report. So that's the reading capability of the child. So I'm so happy that the child is able to read, and it's really an inspiration for me. The next report that I'm going to do is another teenager with a high prefrontal and the frontal. And this parent connected with me long back. And this parent connected through the Ambal Public School when we did the institutional scans. And he did it for the first child. He came here for the second child. And the second child was totally a different combination. And the first child is doing well, and he was so happy, and that is where he chose to do it for the second child as well. So now the temperament is something which he was discussing about the child. And right now the child is in grade 10, sorry, grade 11, and he'll be doing his grade 12. And he was looking forward to inputs on his career, course selection, and everything. So that is where I was trying to contribute my inputs based on the profile. He being moderate in both sides, he's got um, the analysis and lot of thought process is something which he has got. But then he is academically a good performer. He has been doing well in CBSE, and he's been performing well in all subjects. That is the communication I have. Um, he is quite emotional in at home. This is something which was a challenge as far as the parent is concerned. Being cognitive, this is quite evident, and his critical remarks and his limitations and preferences, being judgmental and thoughts about others, judgmental thoughts about others, is something which holds as a limitation. This is also a challenge, being looked at as a challenge. And he is quite inconsistent in his efforts right now, and inconsistency and dislike for routines is something which is quite visible now. And we had been talking to him quite a bit about how he can progress, what kind of strategies he can adapt, all those things. And the child was quite receptive, and he was able to understand the importance of it. Whenever we spoke about how the small x's work, uh, the challenges of the small x, in which is in the parietal as well as the frontal, he was nodding his head, what kind of limitations he had, what kind of preferences he had, what kind of triggers he had, all those things. When it was explained to him, he was like nodding his head, and he understood it finally that yes, this is where he has to wake up. So he accepted it outright, and he said, yes, I would like to improve these areas, and I would stay focused. That is the communication we have about this child. And we could see that he is quite intuitive, like the other reports. This child has got quite intuitive nature, and he has got his own pattern of learning. And I asked him what was the biggest challenge that he has. So he said, when I don't conceptually understand things, I don't take it at all. So I refrain from learning. So that is where he has to do his homework. So we communicated what kind of strategies can be adapted. So his converging is 51.43, and his intuitive is also high. So put together, he's got more of preferences to do his work in his own way. And he is quite promising as far as academic performance is concerned. In the future, I think in the forthcoming examination, he is hoping to do well, without all these challenges, or even say limitations, we can say. What I find about this child is, he is quite creative also. He has been drawing, he's been learning music, but inconsistency is something which I find as a challenge. And small x, of course, is quite clear in communicating that these children will have inconsistent efforts, so they will lose interest very soon. That is what we understand from the small x here on the parietal. When they are interested, they do it. When they aren't interested, they don't. Okay, so it is the super highways kind of attitude they have. So now, when we look at the indexes here, we see the harmony index, which is 79.65. There is a strong inner compass as far as this child is concerned, because he is quite coherent about the inner world, his principles, his logic, and strategy. So there is a kind of self-directed and resistance to external pressure. That is something which he has to address. And motivation must come from the alignment with the his goals, and not from the outside demands. That is what he tries to exhibit here with this um brain pattern. So we were able to we were able to make him understand it, of how he can take responsibility for himself and his performance. And I think it is going to really help him. He has got a good he has got a, the neurodiversity and sorry neuroplasticity index is 21.51. So it is like his efficiency needs to be a little more sharpened, or I would say he needs to be following certain structures in order to stay consistent, and also make his performance consistent. So resistance to certain things can be avoided very carefully, so that he can perform well in the future. So not only in the future, I think in the work environment, wherever he is, I think this is something which he should really think through, and make it a practice to get rid of any limitations that hinder his progress. Now we could see the brain low-wise energy of all the reports, and we could see the distribution of the low-wise energy here, and the prefrontals and the frontals. And I was just curious about doing this activity, so I went through the data and I was trying to associate low-wise energy in order to interestingly look at how it is coherent and who are all connected, who are all connected with a high energy and all that. So we could see report 8 has got this data, and we could see how the performance and what kind of challenges the small x's have, and how the children can really progress in their activities. So I was trying to, do a small homework for these children, and also share with the group what kind of strategies I would suggest with these kids, especially some patterns which require more understanding of their challenges. So there is, I think, these are all testimonials that I've received from the parents. I would like to share that. So this is from Reshmi, which is the first to report. The parent has given information, her testimonial, that the children are able to understand better, and children used to fight every evening over homework, and he had, of course, challenges sitting through with the book for some time. He usually gets distracted, despite his good performance, academic performance. He used to get distracted, and her daughter disliked being under pressure or persuasion. Both had fights, and for no reason, sometimes with reasons. And this has really helped. GBP has really helped, because I had been interacting with the kids directly, talking to them about their challenges and making them wake up to their own challenges through their conversation. And now they have an organized place, and they they're sorted out. Their sibling indifference has been sorted out, and I'm feeling so happy to share this feedback with you. And we have another feedback from Pradeepa, which is the report 5. This parent, we were discussing about the child not doing math, doing Bonzo class. So this is the child. The parent has communicated that GBP has really helped a lot as far as the child's innate, waking up the child to his innate strengths, and they opted for a full assessment. They opted for a school assessment as well, in order to understand the child completely. So after the decoding, it has really helped the child to become a little more inquisitive about his own self, his executive function skills, and reorganizing it, so that he has got his overall academic work done. So this mathematics, conceptual skill of mathematics, everything is improved with the additional classes that he's engaged in. And this is the feedback that is given. I'll be sharing the feedback of Arnab, which is the neurodivergent kid with a group. And it was, like a real a gift to be with these kids, to do this exercise. So I think that brings me to the end of today's session. And I would like to thank all of you for being so patient enough, listening to me through the session. And I hope to, take your feedback about this session.
Okay. Yeah, thank you, Prabha, for the session. Anyone would like to give a feedback? Please go ahead.
Yes, sir.
Yeah.
Prabha, it was a very good presentation, Prabha.
Thank you, ma'am.
Your feedback on the XX report was simply superb. I know you were unwell for quite some time, but I'm happy that you have come back with the 4.0 today. And I'm happy to know that you are helping kids a lot and helping them to be in the right place. Continue your service, Prabha.
Thank
Continue
you,
to
ma'am.
transform
Thank you.
many more lives and stay connected, and wish you all the best.
Thank you, ma'am. Thank you so
Thank
much for your feedback.
Yeah, thank you, Vijay. Yeah, anyone else?
So, Prabha ma'am, this is Vinodni.
Hi, Vinodini.
Hi, ma'am. Ma'am, this was an expertise performance, ma'am, presentation. You have
Okay.
such deep knowledge, and the way you are guiding is, a great inspiration for me, ma'am. It was a too good presentation. Thank you so much, ma'am.
Thank you, Vinodini. Thank you.
Yeah, thank you.
Good morning, sir.
Yeah, please.
Morning, Prabha.
Good morning, ma'am.
Prabha, your flow, your voice, and your language, par excellence.
Thank you.
Your presentation was good. Um, Actually, when we think of why do we have this DDS presentations, so that we also learn something out of it, right? So
Yes.
you quantity wise, you have chosen so many scans, 9 of them, all
Mm.
X's, and
Okay.
you have guided these people so well. But where I would have liked some more is where you shared with us what was peculiarly wrong with each one because of the X. Not wrong, but what is the difference having the X to their character or their personality,
Okay.
and how you were able to guide them in that particular field. That would have been a lot of learning for people like me, where I'm still trying to grope around and still learn. And that's why every morning when Sir says something without knowing the person, he's talking about the X factors.
Mm.
There is learning. Now you know
Okay.
the person, you've traveled with the person.
Mm. Mm.
So, there, if you had given us that this is what was the X factor, and
Mm.
this is how I helped that X factor, you have
Okay.
helped, and there is proof that you have helped.
Mm.
But how you helped, if that could have been conveyed to me, I would have,
Okay.
said this presentation is excellent.
Okay.
So that's what I was looking for.
Okay.
And it, I mean, I suppose the DDS, the meaning of DDS is that
Okay.
where we give presentation, where we share our experiences and our success stories. Most of it is success story only.
Yes.
So if that could have been shared, then I would have really been really excellent presentation, I would have said. Whereas I felt I wish you had chosen less number of scans, but
Okay.
went in detail, and I had a lot
Okay.
more learning because I know you're doing a good job,
Mm.
and your experience says it.
Okay.
So we'll wait for it for next time. Thank
Noted,
you.
ma'am. Noted, ma'am. Thank you so much.
Thank you, Prabha. Thank
Thank you,
you.
ma'am.
Thank you,
Yeah,
sir.
yeah, thank you, Bo. Yeah. Anyone else?
Sir, can
Yeah,
I?
yeah, please.
Good morning, sir. Good morning, Prabha.
Good morning.
It was truly a great session. Handling so many reports in such short span of time, it's deeply inspiring. We could see the hard work you have put in that,
Okay.
and I could see the twins report, especially. It's so interesting
Okay.
because we see that now twins, how the similarities will be. It's entirely completely different report. No.
Mm.
The suggestions you gave to help improve their challenges are really valuable.
Mm.
And the steps you have taken for this artistic child, connecting with
Yeah.
a special educator and with Dr. Ravi for getting input and all, no, it's really inspiring. We are really very happy to have such a talented person in our MiDNA. And we are very eager to learn a lot from you in future. Probably please come and join with us. We can see after your daughter's marriage, you are completely out of zone. So please come again, share your knowledge so that we can also learn a lot from you.
Sure. Thank you, Jaya. Thank you for the feedback. Thank you.
Thank you, Prabha.
Yeah, Kritika, please.
Good morning, sir. Good morning, everyone. Prabhaji, that was a wonderful presentation. Starting from your voice and its clarity to everything, it showed me the growth of how we started off in the DDS presentations to and then the morning sessions to now. And your reports also reflect your understanding of the report, the rapport that you have with your clients, the diversity of the clients that you have. Is you showed already X and small X and capital X reports, but your understanding, your going in depth, and when you watch some of your presentations or your reports in the morning for your sessions, right? Your questions, your clarity, and the want to understand certain facets of them all show an amazing want and a willingness in you to learn. So thank you so much for showing us all your knowledge today and what you're capable of. It was a
Thank you,
lovely morning.
Kritika ji. That was
Thank
really
you.
wonderful feedback. Thank you.
Thank you.
Right.
Thank you, sir.
Yeah, thank you, Kritika. Yeah, anyone else? Right. So, yes, I do. I need not have to add on anything. Everybody said something about the presentation. And I am truly, relating the feedback of Bhuvana especially. Yes, we are here to learn from the experience of others, because those who are giving a presentation as DDS 4.0, they're all in touch with the client directly, no inputs from the mentor most of the time, unless otherwise it is a plus report. So you take a small x, capital X report without a plus report, you infer everything on your own and try to communicate with the client and get your first-hand feedback. So I do agree that more reports are happening more, because this is the first time you have done few hundred scans, and first time we are giving a feedback about the small x, capital X report directly. And that is why you have enough number of reports. So that has made the numbers quite good, but definitely the depth was not really shown. I also sincerely feel that the template of DDS 4.0 has not been properly adhered to. Thereby, I see something in one report, the another something data in another report. So that flow also wasn't really there. So I totally agree the kind of feedback Bhuvana gave. I'm totally happy that she said what I wanted to also say as far as the feedback is concerned. And for example, I'll tell you, you did deal with a neurodivergent kid. But what was the learning for us from that? I am not able to figure out from your mouth, though I can read something of whatever you have observed and gone through and improved upon. Like Bona said, you have done the job well. There is no question about it. But the feedback is not enlightening us on how it could help us in going little deeper on this kind of children. For example, in the neurodivergent kid, the left frontal was so low compared to the right frontal, which is again a feeling driven child. As a child, a lot of feeling in the concrete, what you can say, episodic memory part of the child. But interestingly, or I don't know whether to say unfortunately or not, the left sensory, all the left sensory was very strong. So if your left frontal is strong with left sensory, you do academically well. If your right sensory is strong, I mean, and I say frontal, your right frontal is strong and the right sensory is strong, you do well in your extracurricular activities. But if you are strong in the right frontal and strong in the left sensory, that means a crossover has to happen. And that probably could have been a reason for the child's neurodivergency, whatever you called it, as mild autism. Because so much of feeling is there, the child is not able to put that into use using the left sensory, because it was quite strong as far as the percentage was concerned. You can go back and listen to it. And interestingly, you said the child was able to write now, read now, and also able to play karate and all. All these things are left sensorial activities, because if in a karate you have to make a noise or a sound you have to make, so obviously the verbal has to come in. And also judo, karate, all these games or sports activities are more connected with the left side of the sensory lobes. So it may be very interesting to see what kind of games left sensory children prefer, what kind of games left right sensory children prefer, what if the left frontal is very strong, what if the right sensory is very strong. It's very, very important learning. Of course, you might have observed and correlated, but I would definitely again reiterate that what Bhuvana said was right. You have to tell, because you see all the audience have not had an experience of dealing with a child, and what you observed and what the work you did and how the child improved upon. So I know the diagnosis was good, the delivery, the results have been done well, but the process has not been demonstrated or illuminated to the audience through your presentation. So I will also wait for your next year DDS 4.0 and take, I would say, 5 reports more than enough. Now you have to increase the contents, the learning things with your PPTs should show the data, and your words should relate and connect with the data that you are showing, and then the inference or the outcomes are to be shared. So I think a little bit of repositioning of the presentation is needed. I did not insist on, I'm not insisting on PowerPoints to be inspected or to be verified before the presentation, because once you come to an expert level, I think you don't need a coordinator or a trainer. It has to happen on its own. But everybody has their own style of doing it. But it is our duty to just bring in some commonality so that those who are coming to the session will know what to expect from the presenter. But the bottom line is demonstrating the decoding abilities of the genetic brain profiling, which we call it as feedback. So you have done some good job. There is no denial about it. But as it was told, and I also agree with it, that limit the number of reports and go through the template that you changed in different ones. And obviously, maybe it was twins, I agree, but then it is very good to just stick to 5 reports, 2 twins and 1 individual child. But the quantum of information that you are connecting, there is no need to put it parallelly, because we are not going to compare the children. You can connect with their behavioral patterns and all that is more seen in the nurturing environment being very common. But the child is going to live their life on their own UIDs. And that is something that we can discuss separately as well, because there is nothing that we need to compare here, unless otherwise there is a relationship reports of spouses are there. Then maybe we can go with the contents and compare them, and the challenges coming in the behavioral aspects and that kind of thing. But when they are children, obviously behavioral aspects are going to the background, and the academic challenges and the career choices, what the child, you did say something about them, but then how did they changed, how the inputs have changed their thing. And because it is every year we are giving, you can always go back to the one who are continuously in touch with you as something that follow-up cases. 1 slide you can add on, but 5 cases is what something detailed we have to tell. And some follow-ups you can add on in the last slide. If some clients are in touch with you, no need to go back to the report, but something that changed in their behavior, in their outcomes, in their performances, something we can add on to it. So we'll keep this as a template and kind of thought process. I do agree that it is assumed to be picked up from others' presentation, and especially some of wonderful presentations we had in 4.0 as well. So anyhow, it's an yearly exercise, a lot of scope for improving upon that, and we will continue to use this Wednesday morning session to enlighten ourselves, because all the other days I keep talking, but on Wednesday I want to hear from all of you whatever level of feedback you are giving, and all the very best, Prabha, for your work. Keep doing your good work. I know you have a lot of in-depth, structurally learned stuff, and knowledge is there. But I think the double loops are really becoming a challenge to bring that consistency in adhering to that protocol. Nevertheless, it's all these presentations definitely naturally improves us a lot, and that is why I'm insisting on learning is lifetime in MiDNA. And those who are comfortable in demonstrating it will continue to do that as an expert or a mentor. The rest of them will become an audience here if they wish to improve on themselves, or if they don't have time, they let the God bless and just bless them. Let them be happy in whatever they are doing in their own style. So thank you once again for the audience who
Thank
found
you, Ji. Thank you
uh,
so much for the constructive feedback. And as usual, I think I had my own way of doing it, and
yeah, I do understand.
I'll definitely take initiative to make it better.
Right.
Thank
Yeah.
you, Ji. Thank you
Right.
all. Thank you.
Okay.
Sorry to interrupt, sir.
Yeah, please.
Actually, we have to give feedback of 10 XX reports. That is what I told her, minimum 8 and maximum 10. That's what we were doing all this time.
No, I think what I said is what it is actually, maybe I will correct it if it are not communicated well. Please ensure 5 small x, capital X reports. Anything more than that can be the follow-up of the children they have already done. Let this be the template for 4.0. And when somebody is taking up plus reports, then that can be given a priority. So plus reports, you would give first if you have. Otherwise, then you come to your capital X, small x report. But as far as expert certification or the level is concerned, I think small x, capital X is good enough, because you are still a diagnosing person. But if you are doing a plus reports, obviously you are mentoring somebody working on a holistic harmony index. So if your focus of life is focus of work is the harmony index and the entrepreneur suitability index, then I'll say plus reports are more quite related, more useful. But if you are only dealing with diagnostic aspect of it, and like one-time customer, maybe small x and capital X will be good enough to say. Because what happens is when you are adding more reports, obviously, then the content will have to be restricted. And I guess for somebody who is elaborately speaking, that will take too much of time. That is also not advisable. Somebody is just rushing through because time is not there, that then the learning is also not happening. So keep it a practice of, I would say, the 4.0, 5 small x, capital X reports in, whatever the feedback means, trying to explain. For example, there are 2, 3 small x's are there. Maybe you have taken an input, but when you deal with your client, get validated and come back and say, so that we know that it is a proof. And that is where the DDS 4.0 is a biggest advantage for others, because uh, we have validated with the client and we have seen some suggestions working and a feedback and coming, and the customer is giving a testimonial that lot improvement has happened. Like that we will keep. So I do agree that maybe something else is also could have been said. Maybe we'll keep it a practice that the PPTs are just given for reference one day before to Vijayalakshmi, so that the uniformity of the template and the presentation content all that becomes little more streamlined. We will work on it. Doesn't matter. This is first time we are giving. So there is a lot more to work upon. We'll improve ourselves and the presentations as well, the days to come, Vijay. Yeah.
Thank you, sir. Thank you. Thank you so much.
Right.